my birth control led me to the ER, and that's when I knew that this was something that was super serious. What's up, YouTube? It's your girl, Michaela Monique, and that's my Kayla, like my Kayla, not your Kayla, but my Kayla. If you get it, welcome to the channel, y'all. Today I'm going to be telling the story about my history with birth control, how birth control ended me in the emergency room, the chronic illness that I now have because I decided to take birth control years ago, and we're just going to get all into it. So girl, like, sit down, cuddle up, get you something to sip on. Also, I do want to put a disclaimer out there. I am not a medical professional. We are talking about my experience, my history with birth control, my history with female reproductive health issues and things of that sort. So definitely consult with your physician, do your own research. And if the things that I'm talking about doesn't necessarily apply to you, take it with a grain of salt. If you find some things that are similarities and you're like, ooh, this might be what's going on with me too, then definitely take those steps needed to learn more about yourself and about your own journey. Now I got that out the way. This is the reason why I'm bringing the video to you guys right now. I ended up posting, I think a month ago, this TikTok reel about how I gained about 15 pounds or so in a 1 year period from taking birth control.
Keep going. Now skip to my little Jersey. Oh my God, Leah, what the fuck? Leah, do the running.
It was something that I wasn't really like thinking about. I was like, oh, let me just put this little video out there. It has stirred up a little bit of conversation in the comment section. Like, okay, we got some people who understand and we got some people who came to fight. I'm not here to fight, but I definitely wanted to deep dive more into my story and everything that has been going on as far as birth control goes. Let's go back to, I want to say 10 years ago. I was 16. Some women may relate to this and some women may not, but I was one of those young ladies that had very painful periods. Like, I'm like in such pain that I'm calling into school. I'm missing school. I'm throwing up. Like, this was a every month occurrence that was going on. Hereditary wise, my mother also had a lot of these issues and she was diagnosed with endometriosis. So we're thinking, oh, maybe I might have endometriosis. So go to the doctor. Turns out I don't have endometriosis. Great. But I'm still left with a lot of these pains. So lo and behold, you probably know what happened next. Doctors had recommended to me that I should start taking birth control. This is before I was any type of sexually active or anything like that. I just wanted to have a regular type of period. I don't really have any issues with it at first, but over the course of, I want to say, a 4 or 5 year period, I had gone through 3 different types of birth control pills. So one of the things that I started to notice with the first pill was that it was causing me to gain weight very fast, right? The second one had me thinking crazy, y'all, like suicidal thoughts. So the last one is going to be the one that, you know, really led into this big situation that happened, but it was a generic brand. I don't remember exact name. I will do some research. That way I can let you guys know. Start taking this birth control. Everything's fine. Boom, 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 XYZ. It did not cause me the weight gain. It did not also cause me any mental issues. But for the first time ever, I started having bladder pains and I start having to go to the bathroom every 5 minutes. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I go to the urgent care and they tell me that it's a UTI. And so the doctors prescribe me with the usual antibiotics and I'm going about my business. Then next thing you know, about a month later, it happens again. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then it happens again, and it happens again, and it happens again. I would notice over time, as soon as I took that pill, I would then start having bladder pain. So one day I just did an experiment. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to take the pill this morning and just see what happens. No bladder pains. Okay, so now we have an issue. At the time, there wasn't a lot of information online about the correlation between UTIs and birth control, but I opened the actual like manual that comes with the medicine, like the stuff that we don't read, and it literally said in bold, may cause UTIs. Yo, I've been having UTIs for over a year now, and I'm just now realizing that it's probably this birth control. I go to the OBGYN. She prescribes me over to a urologist, so someone who specializes in urinary. We get to talking. I tell him everything I've been documenting, everything I've been feeling. And I'm like, yo, I really think it's the birth control. And he straight up was like, oh no, it's not the birth control. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, because as soon as I take it, I'm in pain. I formulate my own conclusion. I'm 21 at this time. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to stop taking this. So I go back to my OBGYN. She sat me down. She's like, you've been having reoccurring bladder issues. You've been having UTIs all the time. And she ends up diagnosing me with IC, which is called interstitial cystitis. Cystitis is inflammation of the bladder. And it's interstitial, meaning it's in the lining of the bladder. So she tells me I have to be on a specific diet. There's like so many foods that I cannot eat, and that it's something that's not curable. I start going on this journey and I'm learning about IC. I'm on YouTube, I'm watching videos, which they're not too many at this time. I'm reading about it. I have to follow this new diet. It's an alkaline-based diet where I'm not eating spices. I can't eat processed meat. I cannot drink alcohol and things like that. There are certain things that I would eat or drink that would trigger me having what's called a flare-up and my bladder hurting for days on end. And then I would have to learn, okay, great, can't eat that anymore. All right. And then just keep moving forward and trying to find and eliminate things that would trigger me. Because now interstitial cystitis is also linked to your diet. Like what you consume and what you eat will either worsen or make your situation better. I skipped something really important, but I want to backtrack to maybe like the first year I was having UTIs. This is the big like climax. But I remember having a UTI that was like so bad and so painful that I was bleeding, like not menstrual, like bladder, like kidneys, you know? It was in the middle of the night. Obviously, I was so used to going to urgent care that's open during the day, but there literally were none. It was like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm literally up crying in tears. I don't know what to do. And I know that when a UTI is left untreated, it will then flow up to your kidneys. Next thing you know, you're in the hospital. I knew it was urgent, didn't know what to do, baby. I was in so much pain. And it was more than the normal UTI, because that's very annoying to begin with. But this was something else. I ended up going in the middle of the night to the ER. And of course, they prescribed me medicines. They took a look at me. They asked me a lot of questions. They told me, you know, what to do and what not to do when it came to like sex and things of that sort to prevent, and all these other measures. It was kind of like the urgent care, but they just happened to be open when urgent care wasn't. It wasn't that they really did a lot more. Anyways, that was very traumatic. My birth control led me to the ER, and that's when I knew that this was something that was super serious. I didn't think I would see the light of day where I did not have bladder pains and where I could not eat like certain fruits and different foods that I absolutely loved. And so I just kind of like accepted it, like this is just something that I have to live with. My life is going to be a lot different. And so it's part of the reason why today I really don't drink alcohol. And I'm on this healing journey from the inside out. I'm learning about gut health. I'm learning about everything. I even went vegan for like 3 months. And I came across this book. This is a book called Taking Charge of Your Fertility. When I tell you, this book unlocked everything that I needed and that every woman should know about their reproductive and female health. It explained everything from why we have discharge at certain times of the month. It explained why our energy levels are low, why our emotions are in shambles at different times of the month. Like, these are things that I feel like we should have always freaking known as young women, but it was never, ever, ever, ever taught to us. It's a definitive guide to natural birth control, whether you are preventing pregnancy or trying to conceive. And I was so eager to learn and to know and to understand that I literally sat there and I read the entire book probably within a course of 2 days. And I started to learn about the natural birth control method. As women, we are able to pay attention to the different parts of our cycle and understand just by listening and paying attention to our body to understand when we are fertile, when we are ovulating, when we are in the luteal phase, when our menstruation is coming. Now, because my body had been on birth control since I was 16, I realized I had never even really felt my body as a woman. I didn't feel the parts where, you know, your boobs get tender right before your period comes, or sometimes during your ovulation. You know, now that I'm not on birth control, I'm starting to pay attention to things, and I'm like, oh, this is what's going on. Over time, I was able to find different things through diet that help lessen those pains when it came to menstrual cramps, like avoiding fast food right before my period, or avoiding a bunch of junk food during my period. Things that literally will make your pain hurt immediately. Like, it will worsen your pain with your cramps depending on what you're eating during that time. So I do recommend the book, Taking Charge of Your Fertility, for literally every single woman. I promise you, you will have a new understanding, because as women, we're supposed to feel things. We're supposed to be in tune with our body, to be aware of what's going on. And unfortunately, a lot of hormonal birth control can numb all of that, and we just absolutely have no idea. And a lot of times we end up feeling not like ourselves. And so that journey of like learning who I am and what's normal and my normal emotions was a totally different journey to go on. The next thing I want to get into was the last 2 years and what led me back to getting on birth control again after not being on birth control. So around this time, I'm in a new relationship. Obviously, I'm not wanting to get pregnant, and I'm like having these doubts, like, oh wow, like, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna get pregnant this time. Like, maybe this wasn't working for me. Maybe like I just got lucky. You know, I'm having all these doubts and stuff. So I ended up getting on birth control 2021, and I ended up trying actually the patch. That was fine, but I did notice a immediate jump in my weight as soon as I started taking it. And I could also feel my body feeling different. And that was the video that I was showing in that reel that ended up popping off, was that I had gained 15 pounds, which people was arguing, saying that they didn't think that I gained weight. But baby, I gained weight. Like, I went from 170 to my highest was like 185, 186. And I was like, there's no way I'm pushing close to 200 pounds. Absolutely not. So anyways, did the patch. Patch was cool. Only thing annoying about the patch was that my body felt different, and the patch kept falling off. I was like, I cannot do this. Then I switched to a pill, and immediately, I think after a month, UTIs start coming back. I literally have not had a UTI in years. I had completely healed my body, healed my bladder. I was able to drink alcohol occasionally. I was able to eat my favorite foods, you know, and now here we are back again. I said, oh no. I go through, I think, 3 UTIs in a row. And I said, I can't do it anymore. So I quit that. And that also made me gain a little bit extra weight as well. I was holding on to a lot of water. I ended up quitting that birth control last year. And I'm like, okay, like, what am I going to do now? So I go back to the natural birth control method. But now we're in 2022, where this is a digitized method. So I no longer have to chart by hand. I can actually use an app, which I now use, called Natural Cycles, where I'm still taking my temperature every single morning, but I'm entering my temperature for the morning in the app, and Natural Cycles is telling me, are you fertile? Are you not fertile? What part of your cycle are you on? And it's calculating for me based on my basal temperature. But even more than that, if you have been following my journey, I am a follower of Christ, and God has been pulling at my heartstrings to be abstinent, even though my partner and I are in a wonderful relationship. Be abstinent until marriage. And so that is the journey that we are on. That's the spiritual walk. So right now I am not actually engaging in any activity until the right time, but I still use Natural Cycles, because the longer you're going to be using this program and it's understanding your body month after month after month, the second I'm a missus, it's going down. I just want my body to be regulated by then. I would love for the app to be almost 100% accurate, and it just takes some time to really build as you do this every single day. So Natural Cycles is about 90% effective. It's a non-hormonal birth control. It's pretty much the same thing I was doing as charting, except it's a digital version. I will have a link down in the description for you guys if y'all want to read about it. It's now FDA approved. So it's becoming a more widespread means of birth control, because women are starting to realize that gaining 80 pounds off some birth control and having all these health issues is actually not worth it. If you're the type of woman that you haven't had any side effects and you've been perfectly fine, like, great, so glad. But there are a lot of women who unfortunately have had bad side effects and bad situations since being on birth control. And so for those women that want to have a natural, non-hormonal, nothing is going in your body, you're just going on your natural rhythm as a woman, this is the perfect option for you. So I can't gatekeep, y'all. I have to tell you, natural cycles is the way to go. So that is where I'm at today. I'm on my weight loss journey. I'm slowly losing some weight post birth control, paying attention to my body, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and things of that sort. And I felt this is the perfect time since everything came out. I was being really open about it on my platform, and I wanted to give you guys a more in-depth kind of backstory, because it's not just about a few pounds being gained. There was a lot more that actually went down. I want to talk to you ladies in the comments. Let me know what your birth control experience has been like. Let me know what you're using, what you're taking. Like, I want to hear it. If you cannot relate at all, I want to hear it. If you have had some similar symptoms and things that are similar to my story, I want to hear it, because I want to really have this conversation with you guys in a more depth way. So make sure you leave a comment down below so we can talk about it. I hope you guys absolutely love this video. Make sure y'all follow me on TikTok, Instagram, all the things as I continue to share my journey, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.